everybody. I've lost count of what week we're on, but this week in our Pot Stop Messy Play video, I was going to talk to you about skills for writing and how we incorporate that into messy play for toddlers, and hopefully give you some ideas as well to stretch it up to a year 2 kind of level for the home learning that you're all trying to do at home. So maybe you can have some older children working and younger children working at the same time, and that none of them feel like they're doing any work, hopefully including you, because it's all part of the play that they're doing. So first of all, the toddlers and what we do at Messy Play and how we incorporate it. A lot of the skills for writing for Messy Play are not doing any writing at all. We don't give them any pens, they don't actually even have paintbrushes. So at that age, at toddler age, when they're just starting to walk, the skill for writing is all about the fine motor and also the gross motor, going right up their shoulders and really strengthening their shoulders. So if you think you're doing nothing, don't worry, get the Play-Doh out, because the Play-Doh incorporates nearly all the skills you need. Loads of little fine motor that you can incorporate, and then all the pushing with the rollers is so important for strengthening up their arms and their shoulder girdle. Little ones don't have that dexterity yet in that bit of their hand to be holding little pencils and tiny little things, so you just want to work on fine motor first and develop those skills going right up their arms so that they're ready for bigger skills later. Also, skills for writing, which are so important, is climbing and mucking about outside. So there's loads of research that shows that children need to be able to do monkey bars. They need to be able to hold their own weight before they start writing, so like a plank, or wheelbarrows in the garden. That kind of play is really important. Anything big that involves big arm movements. So at Messy Play, when we're doing painting, it's always as big as I can make it in the shop. So we would have a roll of paper, so you can do this at home. If you find yourself a big roll of backing paper, if you can get to a shop that sells it or get it delivered, or you've got some up in your loft, some old wallpaper, and if you've got some of the children's rollers that you can buy, or even I suppose the adult ones, and let them roll along, that's a really good skill. Anything that uses their whole arm and their hand for painting and making patterns, really great. If you can pin that paper up onto the fence and have it vertical, that would be really good. You can do the same with bubble wrap to make it more interesting. And this morning I saw a great post that had some cling film wrapped around a clothes area, and the kids were painting on that. That was really good. If the weather's not so great and you're stuck inside, another good way to do something big like that is if you've got a toddler table, or you can prop them up somehow underneath a table. If you can stick with masking tape paper underneath your table and let them pencil or crayon upwards, it's really great for strengthening their arms. And it's a bit fun, it's something different as well. So there's that sort of thing. There's also outside painting with water. This is like the perfect messy play. A little bucket or a pot of water, brushes from your painting, wall painting, or kids' brushes if you like, but big ones are more fun, and just let them paint onto the pavement. So a little bit of pavement, if you've got a bit outside on the drive or out the back, let them paint shapes really big as you can, and of course then they're watching it evaporate and disappear, so a bit of science in there as well. Play-Doh, as I said, even the older children, get everybody doing the Play-Doh. It's so useful for so many skills. Also at that toddler age, not so much letters. Like I said last week, I'm definitely not telling you to hothouse your children so they're super ahead and sparky when they go back. I'm just trying to tell you how you probably already are doing these things in your play. So rather than teaching them to write letters when they're very small, a good start to it is talking about the shapes that you're drawing. So maybe if they're drawing, you can draw next to them and say, a circle, I'm drawing a circle, this one's got eyes, and they put eyes in, and they're learning to replicate shapes onto paper. So that's a little start as well. So if we're thinking about older children and stretching some of those ideas up, if you're talking about nursery and reception age perhaps, you are starting to talk about letters now, and they will already know some of their letters, some of them will know all of them, they'll all be at different stages. I thought I'd show you that these are the first letters that, generally speaking, we teach first in school. And you can make those out of anything. So those are just out of our, well, actually from a beach somewhere that we've then kept in the garden, just sharpied on those letters. So if you've got those even just lying about, that you can then just leave that at their place when they're coming up to the table to eat, and you put the other ones there, you'll find they are going to, oh, can you make another word? Yeah, I can, Pat. And your older ones will help, and so that's a really good way of sneaking things in. And those can just go out in the garden, you can put them outside and use them out there to make something, or they can then copy. So chalks are really, really handy to have. These big ones just last longer than the small ones, but whatever. Chalk your letters on, you put a word on, they can copy, they can just write or all over the patio if you want, and then let the rain wash it away. Maybe you've got some of these games out here, like these bananagrams or a Scrabble game. You can get the tiles out and get older ones to put some words together. It's important that they learn the letter sound and the letter name as well. If you've got year ones into year twos, it'd be worth having one of those alphabet sets in plastic that they can just every day get them to put the alphabet in order, because no matter how smart your little one is, quite often they find it quite hard to order the alphabet, and quite a lot of little ones get stuck around the LMNOs. So it's really worth getting them to line that up and get it sorted out. That's a really easy thing you could quickly do with them and feel like you're doing a little bit of learning. The other thing with year ones and twos is rhyming is really, really important skill for writing and for reading, for spelling in the future. And a surprising number of little ones can't do it, so it's really worth just playing a rhyming game when you're sitting around, playing a rhyming game in the garden, what rhymes with this, what rhymes with that. Children love to do that. It doesn't have to be real words, it's just generating the rhyme. And then older ones, you can get them to, you can write a word, how many rhymes can you write down with that word, and get them to write it afterwards. Middle age, kind of a nursery reception age, you could do a letter a day. You could just have a letter, write it on your table, and then just mention it every time you bring it. Oh, we're making a cake, we need some sugar. What does that start with? And they can find the letter again. You could build up that set of letters very quickly over a week then, couldn't you, if you did a letter a day. And then for older ones and little ones, they just want to copy you really. So if you make sure that they see you writing your mad shopping list or whatever I live by post-its. So if they see you writing, they know that it's got a function, so they'll start to bring it into their play. So in amongst the things that they're playing with, if they've got little playhouses or whatever they've got, make sure they've got a little set of writing stuff so that they can do those copying things as well. Post-its are really good on it because they're fun, you can stick them on the wall and hopefully don't make a mess. So they might like those. Have some fun stuff about for them to write on, and some nice pens and pencils and bits. Just have it nearby all the time, have it out so that they can go to it, and you could maybe say to them, oh, could you write me a list, could you write this down on the list, we need apples, and get them to write it. It doesn't matter what they write, but the idea of the function is that they're writing. So to give you something to make with them, I thought I'd share with you this, with the best thing I ever learned to do, make a magic book. So you just need an A4 bit of paper. You can make bigger ones with A3. So A4, fold it in half, fold it in half again. So this is so Blue Peter now, isn't it? And then, one more time. So it just makes a little tiddly book. But they love filling these up with writing because it feels really grown up. So then you open it up, the open side one side, and with the closed side, you see the fold there. Just going to cut down to the first fold there. So you've got it like this. And then this is the fiddly bit. Take it out, fold it back in half long ways, and then you kind of push it. And you've got a book. Ta-da! So then they can write their own little books. We used to have stacks of those. Okay, if you make a book, send us a picture and show us, and we'll put it on our Facebook page. See you next time.